So I've got some music and entertainment news for you. Some of it's from a little bit ago, but that's okay. You know, I still want to talk about these things because to me they're important. And I only write about things that, I don't know, I think would mean something to all of us collectively as a group, because I think we all basically like the same type of thing. So here we go. Here is your classic rock music and entertainment news. Let's go. I think, and here's something I totally think that we are all a part of. I think everyone watched The Price is Right growing up, and most of us wanted to be in the audience and be one of the people called up to the stage to spin that amazingly large prize wheel. Like, it took a lot for these people to just get up there and just pull down that wheel. You could tell some people may have had a problem spinning that wheel, but they got through it because they knew they were on TV. They knew their friends were in the audience. They knew that their mom was watching in Detroit or something, and they had to get that wheel spun, and they did it. Didn't matter how big it was. It just didn't make a difference. Well, Bob Barker, the very long-time host of the very popular TV show, The Price is Right, passed away on August 26th of 2023 at the age of 99 years old. 99. I mean, it really would have been super cool if he made it to 100, but I think 99 is pretty darn good. I mean, just to be able to say that you got to that age. Well, he couldn't say it. He can't say it anymore, but it's fine. We love you, Bob. 99. It's pretty incredible. Bob's publicist, Roger Neal, said that it is with profound sadness that we announce that the world's MC who ever lived, the world's best MC who had ever lived, has left us. The Price is Right began in 1956 and aired through 1965 and was hosted by Bill Cullen. And he had a huge broadcasting career in radio, and The Price is Right was the 5th game show that he hosted on TV. Many TV shows that were game shows were pulled because of cheating, but The Price is Right weathered the storm. They really did. Sponsors at the time included Whisk laundry detergent. I mean, is Whisk even still around? I think I've seen it. But by golly, Whisk, Dove soap. Now, Dove, we know, has been around since the beginning of time. I think that was probably the first thing on the planet with Adam and Eve is Dove soap. I love Dove soap. It makes your skin very soft, and it's very sudsy. I like how Dove soap suds up. This is not sponsored. Just throwing that out there. And Handy Andy liquid cleaner. I don't remember that one. I don't. But those were the sponsors at the time. Now, the 4 contestants would bid on items, and like The Price is Right, we know Bill would reveal the retail cost of the item they were bidding on, and whoever came the closest to the price won. Move forward to 1972, Bob Stewart, Mark Goodson, and Bill Todman did a reboot of their 1956 show, kept the name, but they hired a new host. Bill, he was in the running, but the suave and debonair Bob Barker moved ahead and snagged the spot right away from Bill Cullen, the guy who had been around forever at that point. September 4th of 1972 was the premiere of The New Price is Right, and many models got their claim to fame by being one of Barker's beauties. Come on, remember that? Barker's beauties. People got plucked from the audience, spun the ginormous wheel, then the bidding would begin, and we would also see who would make it to try for the big onstage prizes like cars and boats. And it really seems like there were more cars than boats, don't you think? I remember boats being given away on The Price is Right, but I feel like everybody wanted the car. You know, you got to have some money behind you to own one of those big boats. It's not like you could just win a boat, win a yacht, a mini yacht. You got to be able to support that. And you got to pay the taxes on it. They never talk about that. I mean, they have talked about it. But You think all of these people on the game shows just win the prize and go home la-di-da? Oh no, there were like all kinds of things behind it. We could talk about that at another time. Well, Bob hosted The Price is Right until June 15th of 2007, a 35-year run. Things were not all peachy and squeaky clean, though, as several of Barker's beauties filed lawsuits for harassment, and one of the beauties, Diane Parkinson, had a consensual alleged relationship with Bob. What? But did file a lawsuit for harassment and eventually admitted that she was angry that he ended their relationship. You don't want to get any of Barker's beauties mad. It's just not a good thing. Now, Bob was a huge animal rights activist, and no furs were given away during his time as the host of The Price is Right. He began his career as a radio announcer, and his first TV hosting gig was on Truth or Consequences in 1956, which he hosted concurrently with The Price is Right from 72 to 75. That had to be difficult. Couldn't have been easy doing both of those game shows at the same time, but he did it. Bob never had any children, once saying that he saw many of his friends have poor relationships with their children and had no regrets to never have had children. Bob began having continuous health issues in 1999 when he had surgery to open a blocked artery. He had a stroke in 2002 and several instances of skin cancer, which was said to be from his frequent use of tanning beds. He went on to advise people who liked the sun to see a dermatologist once a year. Bob Barker died of natural causes at his home in the Hollywood Hills, will not have a funeral or memorial service because that was his wish, and you have to abide by people's wishes. And he was laid to rest next to his wife, Dorothy, who passed away from lung cancer in 1981. Bob's net worth is said to be around $70 million, and a majority of that will be left to animal welfare organizations. Bob Barker, I loved watching him. I loved watching The Price is Right. I really have not watched it since, I'll be quite honest with you. I was a kid, grew up on all of these TV shows because that's what we had. We didn't have much of an option to watch a whole bunch of things. Again, just talked about this recently, putting the Reynolds wrap on the wire coat hanger that I stuck in my mother's TV set so I could get Channel 56 in Boston, so I could watch Casper the Ghost at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, weekdays. And Dale Dorman, who was on Kiss 108 FM in Boston, he was the announcer on these cartoons that were on Channel 56. Was it WLVE? I think so. I think it was WLVE. That was the TV station in Boston. So I loved it. I did whatever I could. And then there was Channel 38, which would occasionally come in without the Reynolds wrap and the wire coat hanger, but it is what it is. Excuse me. Just taking a sip. Getting dry. Getting dry just talking. Happens. Yeah, I loved watching these TV shows. And Bob Barker, again, what a great age to be able to live to, and hopefully he was healthy for the most part. You didn't really hear much about Bob Barker in recent years, not a whole lot, a little bit, but it sounds like he was able to live out the rest of his life in a good way.